Hello everybody and welcome back to Aussie Starcraft, where we're casting games from the Acer Team Story Cup. This time it's from the Quantic versus Team Liquid series of games. This is game 4 in the series. In the top left hand corner is our new challenger. We have Quantic Try as our red Protoss. The bottom right hand corner of Belshir Vestige, it's LiquidTaeja of Team Taeja. I mean Team Liquid. You'd be mistaken for thinking this was Team Taeja. It is a phenomenal series here where if Taeja drops a single game, Team Liquid won't progress, so naturally Team Liquid threw Taeja in as their challenger, and he needs to all kill Team Quantic. He is in game 4, having had just a phenomenal set of games. It's Taeja and he's on fire, and this is game number 4 taking on another Protoss player, Try. So this time the map's Belshir Vestige, which has quite a different dynamic to Yonsu. And we'll see if Taeja varies things up at all, or whether he'll use a similar strategy to what he used to beat Venus in the previous game. So quite a great series thus far. I've really enjoyed casting, enjoyed watching the earlier games, and just excited to see if Taeja can do it here. Certainly, as you can probably tell, massive Taeja fanboy. Have been since one of the very first games I saw of his, where he came back from an unwinnable position to knock out his Protoss opponent. So just absolutely love watching Taeja play. It is looking like a fairly similar opening. His barracks down, his refinery also on the way. So if we see a Marine come out of this, I think we may be seeing the same sort of bunker rush pressure that we saw in our previous game. Try opening up a little different to what Venus went for, this time going for 1 gas, three workers, so perhaps a slightly different start. It'll be interesting to see if Try skips the Zealot and Stalker. That's what really cost Venus in the early game. Taeja was able to establish the bunker in the forward location, and there wasn't a lot that Quantic Venus could do about it. Had to use his photon overcharge, and whilst that didn't directly cost him the game, it certainly put Taeja in quite a dominating position. We see the SCV moving up, getting a nice scout off as he goes around. Will he be throwing down a bunker here? We can see that Try is suspicious of another bunker play. Did have a bit of a look around with that probe, but this time Taeja going straight into the main base. Wants to get a bit of a look at what's going on. Steal a few minerals there and heading off. Second assimilator coming down now. Mothership core also on the way. This time Taeja's elected to go for the Reaper. Is quite nice on Belshir Vestige. Not the largest ledge that you'll see in a main base, but Taeja going to use this Reaper to get great scouting off, and as long as he can keep it alive and away from the mothership core, he should be able to use that for some time. Expansion going down for Try. Taeja of course aware of that now, throwing down a command center of his own on the low ground. Not a factory. Second barracks following up here, so we might actually see some quite early pressure out of Taeja, electing not to tech up, but to push quite a few early units out the door. And I think it's this variation that makes Taeja such a great player. No doubt Try was watching the Taeja vs Venus game. He's familiar with some of Taeja's shenanigans, and the players on Team Quantic have a great advantage here. They've seen Taeja play 4 of the 3 other games in the series. They know some of his go-to moves, each of them able to trial a different strategy, but Taeja likewise showing that he's just as versatile as his opponent. So very interesting sort of dynamic we have here. We have Stim coming up quite quickly, so Stim's going to be finished by about the 8-minute mark, and just in time for what looks like quite a bit of early aggression. We have a lot of Marines being rallied out onto the map, and we have a probe moving out to scout. So looks like Taeja's planning to get aggressive with these 6 Marines. He could well put on a bit of pressure. There are 2 Stalkers and a Mothership core, but it's not going to be enough to deal with what is now 8 Marines and a Marauder. So it looks like Try's going to get a proxy pylon established, make sure he can counter-attack if he gets contained in his base. Always pretty important to establish those outside. If you are contained, it does let you slip a few units out. Taeja moving around in the middle of the map, trying to scout out. You can see knows this is where the main proxy location is. Most Protoss players will establish a pylon somewhere here, and he's going to know that's there and be able to take it out. We have Marines rallying across here, and now rallying down. So Taeja knows this probe's here, and he's going to pick him off and pick off that proxy pylon. So we have Try moving right out into the middle of the field, and Stim is almost finished. One sentry is probably not what he wants to be able to be caught in the middle of the map with. Not quite enough to threaten the amount of pressure that Taeja's got. Taeja obviously a little worried, throwing down 2 barracks. But the gateways aren't quite finished up yet, so looks like we are going to see some sort of Sentry Immortal play here, but we have 3 bunkers and a fair number of Marauders. 4th bunker coming up now, so Taeja really in a great position to hold this off. I'd be surprised if Try can make this work. You can see Taeja's already in position. His SCVs here. The Sentry can potentially force field and limit the amount of that SCV, the unlucky scout getting picked off. How would you like that game of Russian roulette? Here, buddy, you go out and check where the Protoss army is. I promise nothing terrible will happen to you. Though the great indirect damage this is doing is all these SCVs can't afford to go back to mining. So is actually doing some indirect damage here. Quantic Try getting positioned up here in the main, and actually. Is that a sneaky warp prism? Yes, it was, dropping some zealots in the main. So, able to get a few workers there by the look of it. So, yep, 6 workers killed by Try to 2 of Taeja's killed on the other side. 2 that Taeja's been able to kill with that, probably that cheeky Reaper that we saw earlier. We do have the Protoss falling back as the robotics support bay is on the way. Which one? There it is in the middle, and 2 forges. So, Try gonna fall back and continue to tech up. Taeja salvaging most of his bunkers and actually moving out with his own Marine and Marauder force. So this warp prism is going to potentially be quite annoying. Taeja's going to pick off one of the pylons, but this warp prism is going to act as a second sort of mobile proxy pylon. It's going to be persistently annoying here. Surprised at It's so hard on Belshare Vestige to stop these sort of shenanigans. You don't want to waste missile turrets along the length of such a massive base. Warp Prism has so many angles that it can in fact jockey around the edge and play with. So Taeja's going to have to make some decisions here. Does he want to move out, or does he want to bring his force home? Is he going to put up static defense to try and deal with the Warp Prism, or is he just going to leave a few units behind? So far it looks like he's content to use a few units and sandwich them between the building. Go for a massive attack in the main. Taeja trying to muscle in here. Can he pick off the Immortal? That Immortal surviving with 13 health, living up to its name. And Taeja's army being forced back here. Though that Widow Mine able to do a lot of damage to the Mothership core. No observers in place here. Currently the observers sitting over the expansion of Taeja. Though, can he get the Warp Prism? Viking on the way. That's going to be a great way of dealing with that. He can put it on patrol and really prevent them from slipping in. The Warp Prism quite slow to warp in units. This Marine Marauder force going to have to fall back. There's almost no units left on the ground. Taeja continuing to posture with it, but we have 1 Colossus on the way, a second one Colossus on the field, another one on the way. Thermal Lance did start and what looked like cancel there and restarted. No, just chrono boosted, and I think a bit of a game glitch. The portrait disappeared for a moment. We have 1-1 almost finish up for our Protoss player. Taeja likewise 1-1 finishing up with his armory now on the way. And we can see the supply quite even. It's 1-8 to 1-10. So our Protoss player Try doing a great job here of harassing Taeja, not letting him just get his relentless macro established. Taeja throwing up his 3rd command center and moving out quite aggressively in the middle of the map. We have Vikings on the way 2 at a time, though not yet sufficient numbers to deal with these 2 Colossus quickly. Taeja deciding that he can make something of this anyway, so perhaps just trying to pick away at our Protoss force. There are quite a lot of medevacs here, so Taeja can quite comfortably stim and micro back and forward to his heart's content. That is going to force the first photon overcharge out. Means he's got about 18 or 20 seconds before he has energy for another, so they will overlap, but always forcing those out and being able to back away is a great option. Taeja knows that our Protoss player only has 2 bases, and he himself is getting ready to take his third. So both our players doing quite well, keeping up with each other on the macro, but Taeja now has 5 barracks in play with all of the add-ons that he needs to carry himself through the mid-game. We still only have the 1 robo in play, a few more gateways being thrown down, but for the larger part this has been 5 gate, 1 robo aggression. So this Marine's going to prevent this base going down anytime soon. Going to pick off the probe too, so it's going to delay it by another minute or so. And Taeja just persistently being annoying. Going to force the Protoss army out of position. Will he exploit this with his main? Ooh, he is scanning, he knows the army is moving out there, but sliding back into position. You can see he was trying to establish himself. If the army got too far out of position, he could easily pick up and boost into the main for a big doom drop in the main, or even threaten the natural. So all about trying to get that Protoss army out of position, but Try being very careful, knows he needs to defend this third, and where possible keep his other bases defended as well. So Taeja going for the quite aggressive third base, taking up here instead of down this location. It'll be interesting to see, does Taeja know about the pylon? No, he doesn't, but he's probably got a suspicion there's a few proxy pylons over in that location, and instead choosing to establish his third near where his army's posturing. So it's a great aggressive stance from Taeja here, constantly threatening in the middle of the map, trying to force Try to react to this. We have a few zealots being warped in. They are going to hit when there's not a lot of Marines and Marauders on the way. These Marauders are going to streak out in the back. Taeja's seen it, stimp back in. Can he take out the players? In fact, he'll fall back to the bunker. So that's a nice little nice little thing that's going to allow Taeja to pick off these zealots quite easily. But one of the zealots going to town and plucking up a few more worker kills. 12 worker kills, not bad at all. Taeja now posturing in the middle of the map, keeping the Vikings over this dead space here in the middle. They are able to do quite a lot of damage. There's 4 Colossi on the field, but not a lot to deal with this massive number of Vikings. We've got 1 Archon for splash damage. Oh, there's another Photon overcharge. Taeja's surely he's going to fall back. He doesn't want to fight in this choke. The Colossi are going down remarkably quickly. 3 of them fall. The 4th one's almost down now. Taeja's able to micro back over this chasm as Marines and Marauders falling back. Quite a lot of damage was done with that time warp. A lot of these Marine Marauders being picked up, but almost all the expensive gas units of Try being picked off. 2 Archons and 2 Immortals, pretty much all that's anchoring this gateway force. Taeja now landing his Vikings. That might be a little bit premature. Try is continuing to knock out a Colossus, and Taeja can see that. Will he put his Vikings back in the air? This factory continuing to scout here. Just a great example of how Taeja just makes use of all the little things. Massive Marine Marauder force, lots of medevacs here, going to be able to heal up these units, and they're stimming, they're running straight in. Can he take out these Archons? Archon's doing a lot of splash damage here, but picking off those with the stim. This Immortal here, very vulnerable, it's going to go down as well. Vikings being morphed in, but we need some more units. There's a few High Templar, where are they? They don't have energy for Storm, and there's a Marauder here going to force them back and pick off one of them. Try forced to GG, just great positioning out of Taeja, and Belshir Vestige is the map for it. There's so many little high ground, low ground chokes that can be exploited. You notice Taeja constantly posturing with that army. It wasn't just sitting in front of his base doing nothing. Out in the middle of the map, forcing Try to move back and forward. And when he's out of position, you see Taeja stim in and take a favourable engagement. These High Templar, you could see that Try was trying to transition out of the Colossi tech, but unfortunately unable to get the energy in time to lay those storms down. So another great game from Taeja. Team Taeja going 4-0 against Quantic, which is going to be enough to take us into game number 5. If Taeja can take game number 5, it is going to put Liquid through into the best of 4 rounds. So Taeja just absolutely on fire this morning. We are going to cast this whole series before the day is through, so we won't make you wait for the end result. We will get all the games up on the channel today. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Go ahead and subscribe. We'll be casting a lot here at Aussie Starcraft. We had a little bit of a break last week, lot going on, but this week there'll be plenty of games going up. We have 1 or 2 going up every day, and plenty of other things going on, so I hope you're enjoying them. Go ahead and share it with your friends, let them know we're casting here at Aussie Starcraft, and we look forward to seeing you all in game number 5. Thanks guys, see you soon.